Hey guys, what's up? My name's Marcus, your host for Roads Untraveled. Today we're driving the brand new 2014 Subaru Legacy. This one's got the 3.6 liter flat six, so it's got plenty of power. Why don't we take it for a drive and see what she's got? Today we're driving a 2014 Subaru Legacy, which is really exciting for me because I don't really get to drive new cars very often. So it's kind of exciting going from an older car, or even the 2008 WRX that we just reviewed, to a brand new, the first year of the new platform, Subaru Legacy. This is my first time. I just got in the car about 10 minutes ago. It's my first time driving the car. First impressions, it's extremely comfortable. Despite having, you can tell the suspension is a little bit stiffer. It's kind of going for the more sporty feel, and Subarus are kind of known for that. I mean, you get in a Subaru, it's standard all-wheel drive and everything. This one we're driving right now is a 3.6R. It's got a 256 horsepower flat six with a 5-speed auto. It also has paddle shifters too. It's got a 247 pound-feet of torque. So immediately, I mean, I just drove the WRX a couple days ago, and that had almost 30 less horsepower than this. Now, this model we're driving right now is fully optioned out. It's about $36,000 new. Stepping from the WRX into this, you can tell this is much more kind of long-distance driving focused. It's a lot more comfortable. You do have the leather inside. You've got the navigation on the screen. It does also have adaptive cruise control, which I have yet to try out. I don't know. I've heard good things about it. I really like how it's got the LED display in the center of the gauges. It's really nice. It kind of adds to, displays all sorts of information. And whoa, throttle's nice and twitchy right off the line. Feel that torque. Definitely a lot different than driving a Turbo 4. You immediately feel the difference. And I'm glad I'm able to drive the 3.6 model rather than the 2.5 Boxer 4. That is considerably cheaper. I believe you can get a base model 2.5 for around just over $20,000. I'm not the biggest fan of leather seats in general, but these ones really, really comfortable. They really hold you in nicely. But one thing I will have to say against the Subaru is I'm not a big fan of the fake wood. I know they're kind of trying to separate it from the WRX and the STI, giving it more of a luxury feel, and they've done that, but I feel the fake wood is almost a little bit over the edge. All right, I'm going to put the paddle shifters on now, see what we can do here. Lots of power. The downshifts are slightly more responsive than the upshifts, which I guess is fine. Makes for a cool noise when you're coming up to a stoplight, you know? Yeah, see there, I forgot to downshift. So it does that for you, I guess, which is kind of good. When I was talking in the Subaru review, I talked about how the WRX was nice because it wasn't cluttered up with all the buttons and stuff. So you get in the Legacy and it's not so much driver focused. The tack isn't in the center of the display, and you do have all these buttons on the steering wheel. I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing in this car, because when you're shopping for a car like this, you want the comforts and you want the convenience of having the cruise control and the volume and the heat, and you've got all your Bluetooth, your phone settings, all in the steering wheel for you. Really nice and easy to use. One of the first things I noticed actually was the steering feel, comparing this to the WRX. The WRX does have the sporty feel to it in the steering coming through the road, but at low speeds, it's a lot lighter than this new Legacy, which I wouldn't have expected, to be honest. This steering feels more consistent going from kind of your parking lot setting out to a long, windy road. But once again, there's a lot of technology to take in, and one of those new features that this car has is the electronic parking brake, which in theory is a step forward. You know, obviously you're not going to be, I'm not complaining, you're not going to be ripping the e-brake, pull any drifts in this. But again, it takes a while to get used to, you know. It feels a little bit bigger than the WRX, I want to say. It definitely feels heavier than the WRX, which I think it is, But with that 256 horsepower you get from the flat six, you get a really smooth power band all the way through. The center of gravity is nice and low, really responsive engine. It's got a sunroof, which the WRX does not have. It's got heated seats. No, it doesn't come with a manual transmission, but then again, people going to buy this car aren't necessarily looking for that manual transmission. It's not really on the top of their priority list, I would think. A lot of new cars have got these reverse cameras. I've never actually really got to use a reverse camera too much. So backing up like this and only looking at the screen is a really weird sensation. Honestly, I couldn't imagine driving this car with a naturally aspirated 2.5 flat four. Anything under 200 horsepower in this car, I think you'd be really wanting more. It's a very well-rounded car. That's the impression I'm getting from the Legacy. There, we're just gonna pull it off the line quickly. From what I can tell, it's not lacking in any areas that I would find other things that I'm looking for. I cannot think of anything else that this car is missing, other than obviously a giant turbo on the engine, but that's not what the Legacy's for. Good drive. There's the 2014 Subaru Legacy. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can subscribe on YouTube, and we're on Facebook as well at Roads Untraveled Show, on Instagram. And if you like the video, share them, subscribe, tell your friends. We've got some cool things coming up, so stay tuned.